Good day, everybody. I'm Sue Johnston, also known as Counselor Sue, because I did that for many, many years, counseling and addressing people's concerns and issues. But this here is the knitting portion of my videos. I'm going to be going to DisneyWorld, so I can't take everything with me, but I am going to show you what I've been working on and what I might take with me as a knitting project to Disney. So this is a shawl that I've been knitting using a variation of, well, I have been varying the midnight hour shawl pattern, which is available with the drops yarn. I'm using a Cascade Heritage yarn here. It's a merino, and I love knitting with it because it's so easy. There's very few splits in the wool as I'm knitting along. And I'm varying the pattern by adding some eyelets, knit and purl, and so forth. So I call it another one of my I do what I want shawls. The color doesn't really show up in the video here, so I'm just showing you the ball of wool. It is a navy. Lighting is everything, isn't it? When you're trying to video, in some cases, it shows up, my shawl shows up as gray. Not very nice. But it is actually a lovely color. Now the next pattern I'm working on is the Love Letter top, and you can get this through Ravelry. I know the author of this by her nickname Kika, K-I-K-A, and I wanted to train myself how to do lace patterns, and this whole thing is lace, and it's so far been a breeze to knit. And again, I'm using a Cascade Heritage, and this is a white merino. And I mark my stitch repeats with stitch markers so I know that, I either have 10 or 12 stitches. Keeps me on track. I also have to train myself, or have been training myself, and this is my first attempt at reading charts. And so anybody who is an experienced knitter knows that you start from right to left, and the next row is left to right, and you follow the numbers. See the number 1 on the right hand side, and number 2 is on the left. And in this case, number 2 is a purl row. So number 1 is in the block, you knit yarn over, knit 3, and you get to that funny little teepee looking thing, and that's where you slip a stitch, knit the next 2, and then you take your slip stitch and pull it over. I'll illustrate. Here we go. Yarn over, knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, move my marker, slip, knit 2 together, pull that slip stitch over the 2 that you just knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, yarn over, knit 1, and I put on another marker, and then I repeat. So you're repeating what's inside the color block. And it's been a really fun experience for me because every row is different. And not only that, Kika has several different blocks for each lace pattern. So I completed the first block. I'm looking forward to working on the next block and following it along. So it's really been a lot of fun. It's also increased my confidence level in terms of knitting. Another thing I do to keep myself on track is I have the pattern on my iPad, and I use my Apple Pencil to mark off each row as I complete them. I also use my Books app to store all of my patterns. So even if it's something, it could be a pattern I've downloaded, or it could be screenshots that I've made from, let's say, a magazine that I've been reading online. I can put all that into my Books app, which helps me keep everything organized. Next, I call this the cast-on party because I get ideas and I think, well, what if I just cast on this and just see how it looks? And I might end up pulling it apart. Like this blue in here, I might end up pulling that apart. But I cast it on just to see how also it feels to knit with the wool. I have a rule of thumb: never take out of the house something that you can't stand to lose. So the Kika love letter pattern that I'm working on and the blue shawl, they're staying home. They're not coming with me. So I have to create a smaller project to work on. One of these three will be going with me, and I will be creating a smaller ball of wool to make it more compact to carry. I do have some lace that I knit up using tinsel yarn, and so I may take this ball of tinsel yarn, work up a shawl, add the lace later on. Share your projects with me and let me know what you do when you travel. Do you abandon all knitting and leave it at home, or do you take some of it with you? Honestly, in the past, I have abandoned my wool, traveled, and then ended up buying wool and needles and everything I need to create a new project while I'm away. So I've learned my lesson. I take it with me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your day and your knitting.